Hi there, doing a creative doodle today. I thought I would just put some paints down on my paper and see what happens, see what they look like when they're dry. So I've got my Meiliang watercolors here. I've got a size 10 brush and I've got cold press watercolor paper, 300 grams. So just picking up some paint, adding it onto the page, leaving a bit of a gap in between the colours because I don't want these colours to particularly run into each other. So leaving that gap so that doesn't happen, and just literally splashing it on. Once that's dry, I'm just going to grab some pens. I've got a selection there. I've got black fine liner, gold metallic pens, some white fine liners. I'm just going to have a look at my page, see what shapes I can see, and then draw around them. I found some leaf type shapes here, so I'm just drawing their stems. I've outlined them so that I know that's what they're going to be. So looking at the page again, seeing what else I can find here, and I've decided that this blue here will be a lovely flower. So I'm just having these little tiny flowers put on there, and just filling in the space, continuing round until that space is completely full of these little tiny flowers with little black dots in the centre. And then I'm going on to the leaves, so just drawing some lines, getting some details using a gold fibre tip pen, and then outlining some of the shapes with the black, so making some more details on the second leaf. And then once I've done all of that detail, moving on to the third leaf. So it's just a matter of building up your picture as you go along. So I'm outlining the gold stem here just to give it a bit more detail, to make that gold pop really, so that you can see that gold detail. The black fine liner pen that I'm using is a 0.8 uni pin black fine liner pen, and using it to put some more detail on this leaf shape, outlining that gold pen again. I've got an acrylic paint pen here in black, so it gives a lovely bold thick line, just drawing over that colour and interlocking these lines to give this lovely shape. Changing my pen to the gold fibre pen and going over the black just in the centre very lightly, so that there's a lovely gold line that's on top of that black. Adding some different shaped flowers here, again covering that block of pink, interlocking these shapes so that it looks as though it's a mass of flowers. Sort of reminds me of buddleias, you know, that plant that butterflies really love. And if you have a look at the buddleia head, you can see that there's lots and lots of little flowers that make up one bloom. Continuing till I fill up that space with all of these lovely little flowers, and then I'm moving on to a leaf shape that's right next to this bloom. So there's a couple of leaf shapes I've spotted there, adding the detail again with the gold fibre pen, outlining with a black fine liner, and doing the stem here and finding another leaf there to complete. This is just so easy to do. All you have to do is look at your page, look at your shapes, and just start drawing. Once you get started, you'll start to see other shapes develop, and you think, oh yeah, that could be this could be that, and your picture just starts to take shape from there. Adding some more black paint pen here, just outlining the paint, and then just doing a sort of grid pattern, crisscrossing over this block of colour just to see how that looks. Then adding some gold squares in those shapes there, just filling it out a little bit more and adding a little bit more depth. If you don't know what to do with a particular bit of colour, just move on to the next. You can always come back to it. Sometimes I half do something, I think it's complete, but then move on to another shape and then come back to it at a later date thinking, actually, I think it needs a little bit more. So again, this is another leaf shape I've found here, adding the detail with the gold pen, outlining with a black fine liner just so that it's a little bit more bold. found another bit that I think would look good as a buddleia, so just adding the detail there. And I've just seen in the paint some kind of shape to make a bigger flower. And here I'm just putting some patterns in just because I like patterns really, and doing it in gold and then with a bit of black on top. And then here just dotting in some black acrylic dots, getting in the gold pen and circling those. So you can see there's a lot of repetition using the same kind of tools. The gold is throughout, the black liner and the black acrylic pen is throughout. Just ties it all together, that colorway. So continuing with the flower theme here, just adding some more flowers that sort of look as though they're sort of a continuum from the flowers underneath there, just filling out that space again with these lovely flowers. I hope you like this. If you like this, well, if you could like and subscribe, maybe make a comment, that would be really good. I'd really love to hear your thoughts, whether you're going to try this, what colours would you use, how do you find the process? Is it difficult to get started? Are you okay once you've started, or you still struggle? Any questions that you have, I will try and help. Changing over to the gold pen again, I'm just going to add some detail here by adding some dots, just to fill up the space a little bit more, and just putting dots in between those flowers. A few dots just up there, and putting some little black round gold dots. And now I've got the black paint pen again, doing a similar shape that I did earlier on. Again, filling out with a gold pen, putting some squares in there, just continuing all the way through there. And then when that's done, just putting some more dots in the corner there. I'm adding some dots onto the black paint pen here, some gold dots on the black pen, some black dots on the gold pen. So that is really nice to do. And I feel as though I'm coming to the end here, which I always hate because I'm only just starting to get into it. So using my hairdryer, pulling away the tape, and then it reveals your lovely picture. You can see the detail here, and it's been so enjoyable to do. Really enjoyed doing it, and love all those little tiny flowers. And I love that once you start out, you don't really know what you're going to get, and then you could end up with something really nice. Sometimes they don't turn out all right, but that's fine. That's just part of the process.